G'day everyone, welcome back to Grandma's Handbag. What can I say? You've seen the title. No need to be alarmed, as I can assure you I have no plans to go anywhere anytime soon. But this is basically a thread response to Andrew Tales from the Crate, who put down a great, if somewhat challenging, video idea. So I want to jump into that. Yeah, it's meaty, isn't it? Songs to be played at my funeral. And I have to say, look, as I said to Andrew when he put this out, it's not unusual. I don't think it's morbid. And I'll get into those reasons and things pretty soon, because to me there's a lot around this that we can sort of get into and flesh out. And I'll tell you, there will be records at the end as well if you can stick through that. But first things first, cheers to you all. Beautiful stuff. Grandma's Little Helper. Glenfarclas. Highland single malt, 15-year-old Scotch, 46%. Good old school stuff. Really love it. Nice, heavily sherried. Just a lovely, lovely thing to smell and to drink. Anyway. Yes, getting back to it. Songs to play at my funeral. So this could be a bit of a ramble, could go a little bit deep, and I'll say first off a couple of things. There may be a couple of cuts here and there because maybe I'm not saying things as well as I want to, and an edit might be needed to sort of bring things back into focus a bit. I guess another big one when you're talking funeral songs and you know, your own mortality is the flip side of that. To me is immortality. Immortality for man is I think something we've always as a species sort of desired, I guess. I mean, because none of us is able to come back in any real sense with any definitive authority to say what lies beyond. So rather than facing that fear, I guess we look for what we know rather than what we don't. And you know, I think immortality would provide that escape from the fear of the unknown. You know, so immortality. Yeah, and I think records, the very nature of of what they are as a record, is a way for, you know, music that was able to live on beyond what it used to be, which was played in a moment, in a room and in a space with people around you, you know, to the point now where we're able to conjure up a performance, you know, through a needle and through speakers of something that happened 10, 30, 50, 100, getting over 100 years ago now. That's pretty incredible stuff. And I think it brings that immortality within reach. Similar to that, I think as well, and I didn't get to point out this with Andrew's video, is that I think Andrew made the point that, you know, he's been to funerals, people's funerals, where, you know, music's played that is not representative of who they know the person to be. And I've certainly experienced that as well. And I think what I tend to say is that related to that immortality is that if you don't choose the image that you wish to project after your life or your time on this earth, then other people will fill that space with their image of you. So you may not get the choice, and that's why things like a thread such as this for records to play at your funeral can be important, because it really then helps you to shape, well, this is how I want to be remembered, this is what I hold dear and want to present to other people. So, I mean, I should probably get some records pretty soon. Here's 5 records that I've got, and I'll delve also into, I suppose, what I like about them and why. And the one thread I think I've noticed through all of these is that for a person, as I said before, that I'm not overly religious, I have no compulsion whatsoever in that way. These sorts of, I don't know, religious, I would say probably they feel more spiritual than religious themes, but I suppose if you look at what's monopolized the language of death in human experience, especially in the past, 1,000, 2,000 years, it could be longer, you would say that organized religion has generally had quite the input in how people remember others' lives. So, and I find those sorts of themes coming through quite a bit in the records that I have here. So let's get in with it anyway. The first one off from Another Green World is The Big Ship. I'm not going to have any needle drops on these. I'll try and put links below somewhere. But The Big Ship, if I could explain, is just a beautiful... it's this sort of slow dawning and creeping synth. And to me, it just sort of really sort of creeps into a slow focus, very much like a big ship, almost something that's, I could imagine, taking me. If there was some sort of world beyond, then this could be what you could journey upon, And what I think what I really connect with it is that it has this, I don't know if there's anything beyond this life. I suspect that there's not. But something like this makes me feel that perhaps there is. And if there isn't, it at least connects me, I suppose, to something far bigger than myself. A shared human experience in a universe. It makes me feel very, very small, but at the same time, very, very connected. Insignificant but connected, I suppose. So The Big Ship, nice instrumental, easy one to play. The next one, again, this is just a record. I haven't got more of her works, and I don't have the song that I want to show, but Mother Maybelle Carter, Nitty Gritty Dirt Band, Will the Circle Be Unbroken, the album 1972, and she does a turn there with her auto harp for Keep on the Sunny Side of Life. And it's such a simple sentiment, but the older I get, the more and more it just presents itself to me as a good reminder. I mean, we all go through our trials and tribulations, and as you get older, you realise that, well, hang on, people fall by the wayside, you have friends and people that depart. And in its own way, to keep alive it's not to be sneezed at, And she's always been, for a person when I was a lot younger, I could never really see the sunny side of life, nearly so much as now. It's just such a simple mantra, and her version there is, I don't know, it's so plaintive, it's a voice from this other, simpler era to me, but it still has this sort of plain clarity, and I don't know, I just can't escape that kind of simplicity, but this version that Maybelle does just hits me, always. Every time it hits me. So anyway, I wish I could show you something better than this. I only picked this up the other week, but Maybelle Carter, Keep on the Sunny Side of Life. All right, the next one, I Shall Be Released. And again, look, there's, I think in a way, maybe I have a secret longing to, you know, secular music and gospel, because this song and the next one especially, you know, the previous one you could argue is an element of gospel in there as well. But I Shall Be Released, from the moment that sort of, it's almost a, I don't know, some sort of sound to me that comes down from the heavens. And then Richard Manuel's voice swoops in. Absolutely stunning, you know. It gets me every single time I hear it. And it makes me again think that there is some sort of solace, there's something beyond, and, you know, maybe it's not such a bad thing to be released from these earthly bounds, you know. And the older I get, I sort of realise, in some ways, as the less I fear death, as I see and experience it around me. I've lost a couple of people in the past 3-4 years. An aunt of mine who's just, you know, meant the world to me, and just an incredible person, and also a grandmother that I was very close to as the only grandparent I really knew in my lifetime. And, you know, no one wants to go through an experience of death in the family, but at the same time, it was an incredible bonding for us. So to know, in a way, I mean, we're left behind to make peace with the memory of a person, and it's not always easy, but I think sometimes things like this give a degree of solace, you know. I shall be released from the earthly bonds of this world, you know, and there's somewhere, someplace better that you go to. It doesn't have to be an afterlife. It can just be an idealized place in one's mind, you know, where they're able to live on. Very important. But Richard Manuel's voice is just angelic. It's, you know, this sound that delivers you from heaven, and his voice, to me, it scoops you right back up there. Gorgeous, gorgeous stuff. The next one is, I could probably put 2 or 3 songs off the album on, and I have to say the title track is one that I forcibly asked my wife to play for our wedding, so it might not be the best one to put as a funeral song, although it could easily work in there. I don't know, I guess I keep coming back to the insignificance of us in a lot of ways, in the big scheme of things, but on the micro scheme of things, the significance of who we are to the people around us is all important. So yeah, I'd probably go for Cool Waves off here. It's a pure gospel song in a certain sense, you know. If you gotta leave, you gotta leave. When you gotta sleep, lay your head down low. So it's got those sort of allusions to sleep as death and leaving, and also if you've just gotta be, let your light shine through. So there's these wonderful sentiments in there that it's okay to go and leave. And to me, that's always given a lot of comfort when other people have passed on. I think humans have an amazing ability to hang on through pain until they effectively create their own, until they come to terms with their own reality, till people are able to say goodbyes within their mind and let themselves slip away. I've seen that a few times now, and I really do believe that humans are as powerful in that sense. So that brings to me a lot of closure and solace. Of course, there's times when people aren't able to or don't get that chance to, and we're left to make up that amends. But Cool Waves, something to me, just brings a lot of healing, I think. Closure, healing, and I'd hope that it'd bring it to other people as well. Alright, I have one more, Andrew did 10. I'm just trying to get this out. I'll do 5 here. I don't know. It's such a big subject to encompass or encapsulate, you know. There's so much more I'd want to say on this, but I get the feeling that I could actually bore the pants off a lot of people soon too. Anyway, the last one, Northern Sky, is just, you know, it is probably a little bit of a downbeat song for there, but I think it just basically nails, I think, the craziness and the beauty of life. And those opening lines, I've never felt magic as crazy as this. Saw moons, knew the meaning of the sea, held emotion in the palm of my hand, or felt sweet breezes at the top of a tree, but now you're here and brighten up my northern sky. I think those sorts of images for me are just, yeah, try to nail down, you know, and it's almost impossible, those sorts of elements of experience that you can have, those fragments in time that you're able to remember and build into a story of your life, but knowing that you'll never ever experience all of everything. So Northern Sky, yeah, there's a line, I think, would you love me through the winter, would you love me till I'm dead? And it's, yeah, very morbid in a certain sense, but I suppose it is a question you ask, you know, how will you be remembered? Will you be loved all that way? I think Andrew put another great quote in there on that one, but yeah, you would like to think it's in a positive light. And yeah, look, I think that's about it for me for now, guys. Yeah, funeral songs, have a think about them. If you guys have got anything you want to share or let me know there. I hope I haven't offended anyone. Probably didn't get as deep into religion as I could, and maybe that's a good thing. But strangely, that's still the theme running through everything, a lot of the records here, so what can I say? There's no escaping it. Cheers, VC. Thank you for checking in. I'm sorry if this isn't as upbeat as it could be. I hope you don't mind the new studio here, because the room's still not ready, but it's a work in progress. Anyway, take care, and I'll talk to you soon.